Lizzy came into the world screaming her head off, and as I was standing up, my baby was born, and there she was in my arms.
Lizzy went in and it was a breeze. She instantly responded. She came out of herself. She started walking. She started running around, being a terrific, happy little child. And we thought, you know what, we're going to lick this.
Each year, neuroblastoma affects approximately 100 children in the UK and 700 in the US. Those diagnosed with the disease are usually younger than 5 years old, but while it is the most common form of cancer in infants and young children, it is rare enough that many doctors have never cared for a child who has it. Initial symptoms often resemble those of other common childhood illnesses, making neuroblastoma difficult to identify. As with many children, by the time Lizzy was diagnosed, the cancer had already metastasized. She was given a 50% chance of survival.
She had been unwell, in terms of not herself, for probably a month. There was a virus going around. George had it, I had it. I put it down to that. There was a lot of crying, there was a lot of discomfort. We didn't really know why, but then I noticed a swelling on the side of her head. And she'd got a swollen eye from this virus, and she had an infection. So really that's what rang alarm bells.
Miriam took Lizzy to see a doctor who diagnosed a chest infection and sent her home with antibiotics. 2 days later, the swelling increased. Miriam returned to the doctor's office, where it was recommended they see a consultant at the hospital. The news wasn't good.
That afternoon, they found a 10-centimetre tumour in her abdomen, which shocked us completely. This is the tragedy of neuroblastoma. The symptoms are either non-existent or very vague and easily comparable to a cold, just being under the weather, a virus. That's why almost all children are diagnosed at stage 4 with this disease.
I felt very strongly that as a father and as a husband, I had to remain positive. We're going to attack this thing with chemotherapy, which will pretty much destroy everything. And then we're going to mop up with radiotherapy. And then we're going to try and make sure it doesn't come back with immunotherapy. And that's reasonably standard, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Her tumours were shrinking at a rapid rate. This was over a course of a matter of days, almost hourly. You could see this thing growing and then receding. And you can't help but be caught up in that kind of positivity.
After 10 rounds of chemotherapy, Lizzy's 70-day assessment showed her bones to be clear of cancer, but 2 hotspots remained on her liver. Lizzy began a new, much harsher form of chemotherapy, but her body stopped responding. So little is known about neuroblastoma that currently there is not a targeted treatment available. As a result, Lizzy's disease progressed rapidly.
We went into the consultant and we sat down, and I said to him, you haven't called us in here for good news. And he said, no. And it happened as quick as this. You haven't called us in for good news, no. How long she got? 3 months. Fine, right, that's it. Now we know what we need. The last 2 weeks were horrendous for Lizzy. We saw and experienced things that no parent should see. 3 months of that would have destroyed us. 2 weeks has done damage that will last us a lifetime. Horrific, horrific, horrific things.
The day of her birthday came, and I think she would close her eyes from time to time and sort of almost drift into a half asleep. But there was a look in her eye that I knew she was with us in the room when she was awake, which was for most of the day. She was a bit zoned out because she was on heavy medication. And we had balloons and a birthday cake for her and some presents. And our good friend playing the guitar, I could see she was enjoying the fact we were singing to her happy birthday. I think she knew it was a special thing for her.
And we were just in this little bubble under the tree. And we were okay. And I remember when she actually went, and I turned to Mimi and I said that was perfect. I just couldn't get it out of my head. Who wouldn't want to go like that? Who would not want, to die in the arms of their parents?
Just after she died, I think it was 3 days after she died, I decided I was going to do something. Everybody has this feeling that they want to do something naturally. What can I actually do? Well, I do sporting events. I'm a runner, I run, that's what I can do. So it was a natural step for me. I decided there would be 4 events which would take place in the autumn. To raise £5,000 for the Neuroblastoma Society as a starting point, as something I could do to help other people to never have to go through what we've been through.
Miriam hoped to raise £5,000 over the course of 3 months. She reached her target within days. Donations flooded in from around the world and continue to do so. To date, the Bremer family has raised over £30,000, approximately $50,000, with every penny going to the Neuroblastoma Society. Miriam continues to test her physical endurance in both running and cycling. This year, she will compete in 2 marathons within 7 days in Lizzy's honour.
After Lizzy's death, the efforts that Mimi's made have also, in a very real way, kind of kept alive this sense that we're still taking care of her, which is very powerful and important.
It's something that she can do. It's something that she has been able to achieve, where she won't grow up to be able to achieve anything for herself in this world. She won't grow to be 20 and go to university and get a degree. She won't grow into a woman, get a good job, have a family of her own, and have all those accomplishments that we strive for and that make us happy, make the world go round. How is she going to make a difference? So through us, this is how she's making a difference.
Yeah. If our story just raises awareness, if one child gets diagnosed 2 or 3 weeks earlier than Lizzy was, well, we'll say that's effort well rewarded.
To donate to the Neuroblastoma Society in memory of Lizzy, please visit www.justgiving.com/Miriam-Bremer1. For information on the Lizzy Bremer legacy, please visit lizzy.bremer.co.uk.